Live on WFLA Now. This is Run for Fun with running enthusiast Lee Spann.
All right, let's go. Welcome back to the Stream Center for this week's episode of Run for Fun. The show focuses on ways to make running a healthy part of your life, because you know what? It's not always about go hard or go home. In order to stay consistent and engaged in running, you need to learn how to slow down, eat right, and give yourself grace along the way. So I'm your host, Lee Spann. I'm a meteorologist at WFLA in Tampa. But I've been running consistently now for 14 years, and it took me many of those years before I found a group of runners who were showing me the things that I now try to talk about on this show. So hopefully I can help others not make the exact same mistakes that I made along the way. And of course, the main person continuing to teach me, Coach Maria, thanks for joining us back again, of course.
Oh, such a fun thing to do on a Tuesday morning. I love it.
It's a fun thing to do. We ran it already. Now it's time to talk about Run for Fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So I had a pretty big announcement the last couple of days that I will be leaving WFLA in November. My husband got a job, as I said, quite a while ago in Ohio. So we've been burning up those airplane miles, going back and forth. So he told me I could stay in Tampa as long as I wanted because he knew how much this job and everything meant to me. So so it was a long time, and now I just feel like it's about time.
I do think you broke the internet, because I had a lot of people that were like texting me, "What? Lee's leaving. What are we gonna do?" Yeah. I'm like, I know we're all sad, but you'll still be around.
I'll still be around. So the job I'm taking is a remote job, and so we're keeping our house in Tampa, so that even though I won't be a meteorologist, a practicing meteorologist anymore, I will know when the cold weather is coming, and I can
and she can still run from it.
Still run for fun right on back to Tampa.
That's right.
But I am also, a lot of times, I know with journalists, they leave, and even if they get to make an announcement that they're leaving, it's usually just that one day, and it's super sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I've been really fortunate that my bosses let me say this 2 months early so that I can continue to talk to people, and then they're going to host a Lee Spann farewell Run for Fun 5K, and so that's October 20th at Al Lopez Park. And I thought, I'm just so appreciative of them for letting that happen, because now I get to meet a lot of the viewers who, if they didn't watch all these years, I certainly would have had this job for this long.
Absolutely. So you should all come out and say bye to Lee and run a 5K. And Al Lopez is a great park. It'll be fun.
And you don't
Hopefully the weather will be a little better, so we can, maybe.
Still October. But you can walk. I'm not, while I do love running, I understand that that's not a love of everyone. So, if you do just want to get out and walk, that's fine too. Or just come out and say hello, or I guess in this case, goodbye.
Hello and goodbye.
Hello and goodbye. So anyway, I feel very fortunate that I get to, again, have this way to get to meet everyone.
It'll be fun. I'm excited.
Yes.
Luke and I will be there. My team will be there. So if you're on my team, sign up.
Yeah, it's on Run Sign Up right now, or you can go to WFLA.com. I also just put it on my Strava account too. So if you go there. So if you don't know, 5K is 3.1 miles. Mm-hmm. So now multiply that by 1,000 to get to 3,000 miles. Yeah. And that is where we're going to bring in Nels Matson. So he is a Bradenton ultramarathoner who plans to run the 3,000 plus miles across the United States. So welcome, Nels. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So where are you currently?
Right now, I'm somewhere outside of Dallas. So we're trekking back, going out to San Francisco, so then we can slowly make our way back to New York. So this will be much faster getting across the country by RV right now.
So who all is your team? Who's with you?
So right now, going out there, my wife is with me. So she's an integral part of this. There's a lot that goes on just beyond the running. So she's been my support through all of this. And then as we come back, we'll have team actually rotating in. So have different crew members all the way across, about a week to a week and a half segments.
All right. Well, Nels, let's start by talking about how you got into running, and then especially how you got into this, ultra long distance running.
Okay. So I got into running originally. So I'm originally a wrestler, and I had to find a different outlet. You can't wrestle forever. And so naturally, we did a lot of running through wrestling. So I ended up doing running, and I've like you. It sounds like I've found also some great local runners that have been huge support. I run with a group called the Suncoast Milers that come out and get together and do a bunch of short and long runs too. So found myself in the local community doing these runs.
And then, so did you start with the 5K and work up? Did you start at the marathon? Did you start with these ultra marathon? Like, how does one find the long distances?
So actually, I should back up. I guess I kind of had there was a little gateway in there. I went from wrestling to I did cycling. I cycled across the U.S.
Okay.
2 different times, and just
like on a regular road bike.
Like on a regular road bike.
Wow, that's
and then
hard.
then I did a Ironman, and then from Ironman, I liked the running part, so just kind of transitioned there into the ultra running scene. And then
so you're used to doing things all day long.
Yes. So it was a gradual transition, I guess.
Well, then how? So while we know that you like to run long distances, this is you're doing this for a cause, first of all, correct?
Yes. So this I'm doing to honor the legacy of Chris Campbell, and for Chris, he was a Navy SEAL that we lost in Afghanistan in 2011, and it was really important to him that if he didn't make it home, we helped his brothers and sisters who did make it home. So through this event, which is 3,067 miles, to honor the legacy of Chris Campbell, we are trying to raise $100 per mile for Wounded Warrior Project. Okay. So $306,700 is the goal to raise for Wounded Warrior Project during this event.
And have you started raising already? Do you have a number you've hit already?
Yeah, so right now we're just over $22,000 so far. So we have a good start. We have a good start and a lot of great support.
Well, I know that Chris's family, I'm sure, is very happy that you are doing this monumental task to bring awareness to what he wanted, and then of course those who have come home from serving overseas.
Yes, yeah. Well, they are a part of this. So Cindy Campbell, Chris's sister, is going to actually be out with us for the start in San Francisco. So she'll be there inspiring. We've had lots of contact. So this has been quite the process. I've reached out to Cindy about doing this back in December of 2020. So this has been quite the build up till now, and now we're about to start it here on Sunday.
And what kind of planning goes into that? Like, I mean, that's a huge endeavor to yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it has been quite the planning process. So the logistics are one thing, and then we've done the marketing and PR on the fundraising side. So we kind of, but we have, like, this is obviously not just me. I go out and I run, but we have a lot of more talented people than me on these different aspects. So if my wife and we have great local volunteers, Chad and Kimberly Evener, and Pete Cuviello, who's actually was former CIO of the Army. Somehow he's on our team.
Oh, cool.
When you do cool things, cool people want to be a part of it, right?
Right.
Yeah. So we've had great logistical support, and then on the marketing side, we have a volunteer group called Add to Orlando, that has volunteered to do our marketing. So it's just been like every time I go on to talk, it's just like we have these Zoom meetings or Teams meetings, and I just see all the people on the checkerboard, it's crazy, all the people that are involved in this. I'm actually just like kind of the tip of the iceberg that people see, but there's a lot more that's actually going into this than just me running.
Well, we're very interested in just you running.
Yeah,
because,
I mean, it's crazy to me. How many miles a day?
Yeah.
Do you have a plan, like how many miles you're going to hit? And then what do you do when something goes wrong? Do you have a pivot?
because you're trying to break a record.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So I'm going for the world record, right? So right now the world record is 42 days, 6 hours, and 30 minutes.
Wow.
So if you average that out, so our route's about 3,067 miles. So it's close to basically I have to average about 73 miles per day.
Every
Oh,
day
my
for a month and a
goodness.
half.
Every day for a month and a half. So
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
quite the challenge, and it's definitely going to push me to my limits.
So you sent me this picture of you in the compression pants and eating. So I want to know about both those things. I want to know about what you're eating, and I want to know about how you're recovering.
Yeah, so this is I eat anything. I eat anything and everything. I've actually been known to be at the treadmill at the gym and eat a couple Twinkies. So
Yeah.
I'm putting in about probably during this event a minimum of 10,000 calories each day.
Yeah.
And
How do you even have time to do that while you're running all those miles?
so you're just as you're going, you're constantly taking in calories. So it works out to be you have your basic 2,000 to 2,500 calorie base,
Yeah.
and then you're adding 100 calories per mile. So I have my crew will be keeping log books just to make sure that I'm not running in deficit or
Yeah,
anything
you don't
like
want to be in a deficit at all.
You got to, because you can't recover if you don't eat. So we
Right,
talk about a lot about that on other episodes, but we're not trying to run 70 plus miles for a month and a half. So yes, you got to get up and be able to do it again the next day, and that's only if you recover and eat enough.
Right. Yeah, it's very, very important.
Do you have specific stops along the way? Like, now I know you're in an RV. I was really concerned about what if you didn't make it to your specific stop, but your stop travels with you.
Yeah, we're stopped. So during the event, we do have estimated stop areas. So we kind of have little goals that we'd like to get to each day. But they can flex a little bit. So we, some days I may be feeling better than other days. So
Yeah, I
we
was
kind
wondering.
and there's also like day 3 and day 4, I'm actually going through Yosemite in
Oh, my
California.
goodness.
So we'll be up at 9,800 feet in elevation.
Oh, this is amazing. I
Those
kind of
days-
love this.
We're not going to run as many miles on those days as we
Yeah.
would like in Iowa or Nebraska or Ohio where you're going.
Yeah. So,
Or-
how are you training for this?
Yeah, I
you
was just going to ask
I
that.
mean, as Maria's my trainer, she's like, how would I even write a training plan for this
Yeah,
man?
it's a lot.
So I have lots of benchmarks, and so I've had different events. I was actually planning on doing this originally in 2022, and did an event called 6 Days in the Dome, and it's a 6-day event where you basically run around a track for 6 days.
Yeah.
And I ended up actually getting injured at that, but it was probably a good thing because I think I wasn't ready at that time, and so it gave me a couple more years. But I did an event called Across the Years this past year. Which is in Arizona, and I was able to do the 73.5 miles for 6 days during that. So, but I've also had, so there's you always get inspiration and planning from people that have done things close to you or some that are a little smarter than you even. So the woman's record got broken for transcontinental U.S. last year by a woman by the name of Jenny Hoffman, and she's actually a Harvard physics professor, so she's way smarter than I am. So I got a lot of tips from studying her Strava of how she trains. So that's I did my homework with her and kind of
Did you reach out to her? Does she know that what you're doing?
She does know what I'm doing. So
That's
and
cool.
so does the former the current record holder.
I like your confidence there.
I should. But yeah, he's the current, and he's had the record since 2016.
Oh, wow.
And is it the same route you have to take from San Francisco to New York City Town Hall? City Hall? Is that in order to make it the official race?
Yeah, so there are some strict guidelines from Guinness, um, and you just have to go from city hall to city hall. But I really want an apples to apples comparison.
Uh-huh.
So I am taking almost the same route as Pete. There's some roads that have changed since 2016, so I've changed up some of that, to accommodate the new roads.
Mhm.
But
Do
yeah,
you
pretty much.
do you do any intervals, or is it like, are you trying to run the whole way? Like, how do you break it up in the day? I have so many questions. Like, do you break it up in the day? Do you try to get all 73 done at one time? Like, talk to me.
Yeah. So, and this is good because this is another thing that varies a lot by runners too. So
Yeah.
that my strategy is completely different actually than Pete. The way Pete ran, Pete
Okay.
was a much quicker runner than me. So he would just he would do a section and he'd do it like he's crazy fast for a long distance, but would do
Yeah.
like 10 minutes or faster mile pace.
Wow.
I
Okay.
do because I'm older maybe too. I do a 3-1 most of the time. So
Yeah.
I do a 3-minute run, 1-minute walk, and it changes the muscle groups up just
Yep.
enough
Hmm.
that allows you to kind of keep your heart rate under control and keep you moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then your
But
other question was,
well,
do you break it up? Are you going to do
uh,
like 20 miles here and then 50 miles here? Or is it just like, let's go 73?
Yeah.
yeah, no, if you sit down, but if I sit down, my experience is I want to keep sitting down.
Yeah.
So
True.
So I just keep it moving forward. Even when I'm eating, like we're gonna have a bigger lunch, and I'll keep moving forward during those as well. Just
Oh my
kind of
goodness. I
kind
can't
of
wait to watch this.
walk and eat.
Yeah.
So Maria just said you can't wait to watch it. How can we keep up with you?
So we will have our website projectcampbellscall.com. So if I kind of come up here, so but projectcampbellscall.com will have our all our information. So all our social media. I'll have a live tracker on there. So
Oh, cool.
I'll have a Garmin InStream that will ping my location every 2 minutes. So you'll always kind of see where I am.
That's
So you could
so
waste a
cool.
lot of time during your day, just refreshing.
And when are you starting?
September 8th. So
September 8th.
from City Hall at 3 a.m.
Okay.
Pacific time.
Is there a stretch that, I mean, I guess the one in Yosemite, is there a stretch that you're concerned about the most?
I would say Yosemite, I think that's going to be the obvious challenge right out of the gate. So that will be a difficult stretch. I don't want to underestimate any of the stretches, but the other thing is, you're I'll be getting closer to the finish line, and then I'll hit the Poconos in Pennsylvania, and so those will be another challenge that's waiting for me at the end.
Yeah, because there'll be a lot of flat land.
Right.
And now, did you pick this time of year because the weather wouldn't be too hot, too cold in a lot of spots?
Yes. So because where we're going through, a lot of it has high elevation. We want to keep it so it's not so hot in the lower elevation, but not snowing in the higher elevation.
Yeah, that's tough.
So, and this is also the exact time of the year that the last two record holders went. So Frank Giannini, who set the record back in 1980, and then Pete broke his in 2016. So the record has not changed hands too many times.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So how long will you be running versus sleeping? Because I mean, it would take me almost, I can't imagine you're going to get 8 hours of sleep every night.
Right. No, there will definitely be some sleep deprivation going on.
Yeah.
So we'll try to limit it though. So my days will be, somewhere between 15 and 17 hours. So we will try not to go over that 17-hour mark.
Gosh.
I'm starting to stress out. I'm stressing out for you.
So I had some practice with that doing the 6-day events and was able to recover enough to still put together some speed the next day. But obviously 6 days and 42 days are very, very different. So
so much of that is mental.
Oh,
what are you doing to train your mind? Are you doing anything to train your mind for this?
Yeah, well, I think part of it is just doing it. So doing these multi-day events really help. And then my two biggest training weeks in the last 5 weeks. I had one training week of 240 miles and then another one of 200.
Okay.
And then I'm working full time too. So just you know, being able to put the hours and the miles together like that, I think really help build the mind. So just by doing.
Well, shout out to your boss and your office for giving you this time to do this. I'm assuming you're not working remote, and then you're actually getting time off to run 30,000 miles.
So it's funny. I'm actually run my own business.
Okay, so the boss is on board, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do have a really good team that's stepping up and taking care of a lot of stuff as I'm out.
Well, that's great.
Which is big.
What
And
have there been any challenges in the training?
yes. So there have been plenty of setbacks in the training. So for example, that the event 6 days in the dome that I did, I actually running around that track had a pretty good lower leg injury that set me back a few months. But like I said, that was one of the beautiful things that came out of that is that we now have 6 days is a long time to meet some really cool people.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 2 people from that event that are actually going to be on our crew for this event. So Barney Reisbeck and Ella Lombardi are both from that event and now are helping me. So they're multi-day experts themselves.
Yeah.
So that would be really cool.
Well, I'm definitely going to follow you, and I sure do hope you come back and tell us how you've changed, because I guarantee you that this experience is going to change you in more ways than one.
Yeah, I have no doubts it will, and I mean, the obvious thing too, I mean, is I have some big inspiration from Chris Campbell, and we have a picture of Chris out on our RV. So
awesome.
to be a constant reminder of we're running this for the memory of Chris and all of those that were important for him to help. So
do you have people that are meeting you to run some with you, or are you just doing all of this by yourself?
Yeah, so we will have we'll have pacers in the different locations. So and we'll have a phone number that people can call in. And if they're interested in pacing me for a little stretch, they can do that. So obviously they have to fend for themselves as they come out. But it would be great to have pacers as we go across. But I have a good friend actually. So I wrestled at Iowa State, and a friend from Iowa State that's coming out to join me right from the start for the first 30 miles.
So tell us about what states you're going through, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so started in California, and then go to Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, New Jersey, and then New York. Wow. Finished going across the George Washington and then down to City Hall.
Wow, that's crazy. I don't even like to drive over the George Washington Bridge.
And I've never driven cross country.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I mean, and I do appreciate that what you're, while this is all fun, that there is this, when it gets hard and when you go to that sad, like, I don't know if I can do this anymore, you can because of the project, the Wounded Warrior Project, and what Project Chris has asked of all of us, really.
Yes. Well, and I think of it as what I'm doing is chosen suffering. So I'm choosing to do this, and I actually get to run across our country because of the sacrifices of those like Chris and those that Chris is trying to help. That's the reason I get to do something like this. So this is actually a privilege that I even get the chance to do this.
And how did you meet Chris?
So I actually have never met Chris. I'm friends with Chris's sister.
Oh, okay.
And we actually work together. We're both accountants.
Okay.
And then became friends through that. And so and actually I learned about. So Chris had a mission, and so this is what got me on this originally. Chris had a mission that he wanted 100,000 people to come together to contribute to Wounded Warrior Project.
Oh, neat.
So not $100,000, but 100,000 people.
Okay.
And during the training through this, so I had originally wanted to do this that help with that mission. And while we were training, 100,000 people actually came together. So there
Oh,
were
how neat.
100,000 people that donated to Wounded Warrior. So we're just continuing this, continuing to say his name, because the greatest casualty is being forgotten.
Yeah.
And so we want to continue to remember him and continue this legacy and raise more funds for Wounded Warrior Project.
Yeah, I saw that his goal was met this year, earlier in 2024. So you've obviously been training for longer than that. So now you get to continue. It doesn't stop at 100,000. Now you are bringing it, right back up again.
Yeah. Yes. It's incredible. I don't even know the amount of lives that have been impacted through all of that. But so Chris had this heart of service that obviously was serving our country for 15 years, but then just had this vision that, the last thing he wanted to do was to also help others that were his brothers and sisters, and then successfully did that even after he was here. So it's a pretty big deal. It's pretty cool.
And did other people know that was in his will to do the 100,000 people, or was that something that came out and then everyone sort of rallied around it?
Yeah, so it was in a note to his will, and once that was learned of by Wounded Warrior Project and Cindy Campbell and Diane, Cindy and Chris's mom, then everybody rallied around. But it was interesting because there was this when I started this mission, there were about 30,000 people that had contributed, and then Wounded Warrior put together a big initiative, and they really did a great job, and then 70,000 additional people have come together in the last really 3 years to fulfill Chris's mission, which is really neat.
That's really neat.
And I also, Nels, if you want to touch on, you as a younger person had a congenital heart condition, and now you're out here running 3,000 miles. How does that work? How did you get through that?
So I call that my first endurance event. So I was about 3 years old, and I had open heart surgery. Had a hole, and then I had 3 out of 4 of my pulmonary veins were going in the wrong way. So they did a reconstructive surgery when I was about 3 years old, and I say it taught me to run on less oxygen.
Oh, maybe.
So maybe it gave me some advantage. I don't know. So that's my theory.
I like that story. That's a good story. Just keep telling yourself that will help.
Yeah.
and again, once you tell yourself something long enough,
it becomes
true. It becomes the reality. Because
yeah.
Obviously, from wrestling at a D1 level to cycling across the country a couple of times to now running across the country, you're built a little bit different, and maybe it's because of the heart surgery at 3 years old.
Maybe it was. They forgot. There was something missing in the brain too, some wiring they didn't fix.
Now, I know you're an ultramarathoner, so you probably already know this trick, but you know the smile trick, right?
The smile.
The smile trick when you're hurting.
Maybe you can enlighten me on even more.
Yeah. When you're hurting, make yourself smile. Your body will be tricked into feeling better. So just make yourself smile, even if you don't feel like smiling.
Just smile. It floods down through your whole body.
Yes, it sure does.
So logistically, how many pairs of shoes are you bringing?
Yeah, it was so good.
So I brought 10 pairs with me, and we're fortunate. So a local Sarasota UTC New Balance provided gave sponsorship for the shoes. So
are you stopping at any running stores along the way?
Well, we may. It's not planned, but we may, and I think we may have to. Looking back at the other runners, I'm using 10, but it looks like they actually used 11 to 14. So we'll see. I thought I timed it perfect, but I think you start dragging your feet a little bit as you go. So you wear
Yeah.
through your feet a little bit, or shoes a little bit faster.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. Is there a certain snack that you depend on?
So if I have to be honest with you, I'd probably say either Little Debbie's or Twinkies.
Those
But
are great. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fast acting carbs for your body.
right, right. So I mean, I do. I will eat a little bit of everything though, and we'll
Yeah.
have to do a lot of high iron stuff.
Yep.
Mhm.
Smart.
You know, dark greens, and then also I'll actually probably have a few steaks out there to
Good man. That's
finish the-
important.
Let's
Yep.
It's always interesting. Yeah.
Make sure you're doing a lot of salt too. Salt in all the food. Salt, salt,
Right.
salt. I'm sure you're
Right,
taking. Are you taking capsules and stuff? Probably.
So I'm taking I'm taking Tailwind.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that has some nice electrolytes, and
Yeah.
switch
Perfect.
to take a little bit of Noon also, so go back and forth.
Good.
Get a lot of the sodium in there, but then you also have magnesium as well.
Yep. It's good.
Thrown in there, so we'll be doing a lot of that, but it won't be. Hopefully, I don't see it being as hot as our Florida
Yeah.
training.
Yes,
Yeah,
you have a small advantage by having trained most
Yeah,
of the time here
for sure.
over the summer.
Hmm.
Right. So hopefully that'll make up for some of the elevation. We'll
Yeah.
see,
So
see
you
what the trade-off is there.
so you get to San Francisco. And then how many days before you actually the September 8th? How long will you get to be stationary before you have to start going?
So we'll get there September 5th. So I'm actually going to kind of we'll get the Flagstaff, spend a night in elevation, just kind of like a base
That's
camp.
smart. Yeah.
Base
then,
camp.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we'll go on to be there September 5th in San Francisco. And then the day before we start, there are some traditionalists, and it also provides a little fun event. But we're going to walk from the Pacific to the steps of City Hall. So get some water in a bottle, and then walk to the start line. And then when we get to New York, then we'll take that bottle and empty it into the Atlantic.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
From sea to shining sea.
I love it.
That is, and then how long before you have to, will you be in New York City recovering? I'm hoping that it's a while before you have to get back in that RV.
I'm hoping so, but we'll probably spend a couple days in New York and then
Yeah.
head back.
And what day are you hoping to be there?
I think it's October 19th.
Okay.
So
I'm
that's-
gonna get on that hotline. I'm gonna see if I can find some Marine boys that are gonna meet you up there.
Oh, fun.
See if I can get some of my guys, my son and his friends, to get up there and run with you. So that would be awesome.
That would be great. I think like right after we get off the George Washington, there's an area to kind of convene around there and run it into City Hall.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, Nels, we
Okay.
appreciate you joining us. We appreciate what you're doing for our service men and women, but also for the running community to show what we can all do. I mean, you're an accountant in Bradenton, and you're out and you're able to do this because you put your mind to it.
Very inspiring. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me, and I'm again thankful for all those who have served, and if you want to learn more about our event and get involved, so there's three main ways you can get involved. You can sponsor the run, you can donate to try to get us to $306,700,
Mhm.
or we didn't mention this yet, but we have a virtual run that's going on at the same time, so you
Oh
can
wow.
you can form a team and see if you can actually get the miles of 3,067 with the team.
Oh wow.
That is
Oh,
great.
wait, I feel like we could probably do
I
that.
think we could probably do that. I have a coach who can make me.
We
who
could
makes
probably
me run.
do that.
Yeah.
Nels,
Oh my gosh,
and
that's
also I
cool.
love your Insta name, tough as nails, because I do think that is
It's very good.
appropriate.
It is very appropriate.
Yes.
I have one more question. Do you have like a doctor that in case something happens, or do you have somebody like that's kind of watching you as you do this?
Yes, we do have Dr. Kirsten Snellenberg. So
Okay.
she's a local. She's a doctor of PT.
Okay.
Perfect.
Perfect.
But she also has other connections. But she is from a local St. Pete PT back to normal.
Oh, great.
So she's kind of been with me through a lot of events.
Oh, good.
And I don't know if I can get PG-13 on here, but this is I'll tell you the type of person she is. I in a former event I may have been peeing a little blood, and
Oh my goodness.
I sent her a picture of it, and she told me, nope, you're good to go. You can go back out. So she's the type of person I could do that with.
She's
Yeah.
also tough as nails, apparently.
Yeah. I have a lot of doctors that help me with that too, actually.
Yeah. As long as the doctor signed off on it, we're good to
it's
go.
Good. The crazy things we do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we will be keeping up with you. Please check back with
Absolutely. I
us.
can't wait to watch this, and good luck.
Yes.
You got a lot of people that are cheering you on. We will be cheering you on along the way.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. Good luck.
Bye.